My video for February the 5th, 2020 is number 3,367. Six? Yeah, no, 57, I'm sorry. I couldn't tell whether that was a 5 or a 6. Anyway, the title is U.S. Presidential Elections and the Electoral College. Quote, Electoral College in other U.S. elections, candidates are elected directly by popular vote. But the president and vice president are not elected directly by citizens. Instead, they are chosen by electors through a process called the Electoral College. The process of using electors comes from the Constitution. It was a compromise between popular vote by citizens and a vote in Congress, end quote. Hillary won the popular vote in 2016, but lost in the Electoral College. A presidential candidate is not aiming to win the popular vote in all 50 states, although several have come close, such as Richard Nixon in 1972 and Ronald Reagan in 1984, each of whom won 49 states. A presidential candidate is aiming to win a majority of the Electoral College, in whatever shape that takes. In 2016, Donald Trump lost the popular vote to Hillary Clinton by more than 2.8 million votes, but won 30 states and the decisive Electoral College with 304 electoral votes to Clinton's 227, and thus became the 45th president of the United States. For me, this information clarified the debate. Some want to make it only about the popular vote, giving major cities an unfair advantage over less populated areas. Once again, I look into this because I have friends that are Hillary supporters, and I have friends that are Trump supporters. And I guess I'm sort of in the middle because even though I did not want Hillary or any of those people to get elected, I'm not a Trump supporter either. I think he's done some good things. I think he's done some horrible things. As I've said in other videos, the thing with Israel is the most challenging to me, and yet he would not have gotten elected were it not for the Christian right, so-called, voting him into office. He's the one that tipped the scales in his favor against Hillary because many people were aware of the corruption of Hillary Clinton and Bill Clinton and Barack Obama and George Bush, both of them. And it's just been a corrupt system. I still would like to see the republic restored. Will that ever happen in my lifetime or ever? I don't know. You see the division, if you're paying attention, that is all over, not just in the United States even, it's all over the world. I mean, as of the end of January, England or Britain left the European Union. I think that's a good thing. Others say it's not a good thing. Depends on where we're standing and what we believe is true and not true. I believed, honestly, that it was the Electoral College that gave Trump the election. Wrong. It wasn't even close. Wasn't even close. It was LA and New York and Chicago and Minneapolis, and those were the bastions of voter support for Hillary. I don't know that she won it in the big cities in Texas. I think Trump pretty much took that. But in any case, there is still so much confusion, so much headbutting back and forth between people wondering what's going to happen. And for me, it's all as it always has been. Will the kingdom of heaven be established on earth and in my lifetime. It comes down to that. And I have friends that tell me, let go, Ron. It's weighing you down. It's going to kill you. Some of you have been suggested, and it could. I mean, I have to admit that sometimes I have strange symptoms in my chest that might indicate minor heart attacks. I don't know. I'm certainly not going to go to the doctors to get it checked. I don't believe in doctors. I don't believe in politics. I don't believe in so many things in the system because I have seen the corruption. I have investigated and learned about all of the lies that we've been taught about so many things. So much has been twisted and bent out of shape that we cannot even have communications. I mean, I can't even go to my spiritual discussion groups without somebody pointing a finger at me and saying you're wrong or shut up or you're not allowed to share that, whatever. However it comes out, it does not make me feel good. And the ideas of peace on earth seem so out of reach. And my lifelong vision seems unattainable. I want to say that I am grateful for a couple of friends that have helped me out of the financial situation so that I think I'm going to have enough money to get through the month of February without taking money away from the money that my son has for my burial expenses or cremation or whatever. And I actually did some research on the cost of that. I think I have just about enough to cover most of it anyway. I'm not sure because it's just an average. But in any case, I struggle to get to truth. And I was wrong about the Electoral College thing. I mean, I know they've wanted to abolish the Electoral College, but the whole thing is to give smaller states and less densely populated areas a voice. But in California, for example, if Hillary wins by one vote, she gets all of the Electoral College votes, and that's 55 out of 508, I believe the number was. California is by far the biggest state when it comes to Electoral College, and they don't break it down at all. I'm sure the rural areas, many of the counties and precincts in the rural areas went to Donald Trump, even in California. But it was interesting. The entire west coast of the United States, including Hawaii, went for Hillary. Alaska went for Trump. But the majority of the country, New England and the West Coast, went for Hillary, and Minnesota and Illinois. But pretty much the rest of the country voted for Donald Trump. So to me, it doesn't matter who's president because it's all fiction anyway. The whole corporate structure is fiction. When are we going to understand that and bring things into non-fiction, truth? When will we have a real republic and not just a democracy? I have ideals that I've lived for all my life, and it's really hard to let some of these ideals go, and I don't even want to because they're ideals. Anyway, thank you folks for listening, and namaste.